We don't want to drive south to downtown
Right.
to then ride Vonlane north to Dallas. It doesn't make sense. We need something in the Woodlands, and we just continue to hear that over and over.
You're really giving people back their most precious commodity, which is their time. This is an amenity that is so Woodlands. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Eddins, Executive Director of Visit the Woodlands, where our mission is to position the Woodlands as a premier destination for business, conventions, leisure getaways, iconic moments, and elevated experiences. Today, I'm joined with Alex Danza, CEO and founder of Vonlane, a premier destination enhancement for the Woodlands. Alex, thank you for joining
Well,
us.
thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you and to be able to tell this amazing story of Von Lane. I feel like this is such a important story for us because our role at Visit the Woodlands is to position the Woodlands as a premier destination for business, for special occasions, for conventions, for meetings, and we are helping visitors and residents alike to easily get to and from the Austin area and the Dallas area, and now we have a luxury option to bring them here. So tell us a little bit about Von Lane and what was kind of your vision behind this. The story here is how it began. So how would you say it began?
Yeah, well, first, we're super excited to be in the Woodlands. It's been a community that has welcomed our business so well, and we have really enjoyed what's coming up on our year anniversary soon of being here in the Woodlands. We launched our Woodlands to Dallas route in June of 2025, and so that's really exciting to hit our year anniversary together.
Wow.
But yeah, the business is now 12 years old. I started it when more and more Texans were looking around the state and seeing these wonderful cities we have that are 200, 250 miles apart from each other. And a lot of folks were driving themselves because airline travel had gotten a little burdensome.
Mhm.
Back then, we didn't really have the speed through processes you have now with TSA and things like that. And there were more delays with airline travel, than had been in the past. And you were taking, 3 to 4 hours door to door for a 50-minute flight.
Right.
So a lot of folks said, I'll just drive myself. It's similar. Well, driving yourself is exhausting, as we all know, on I-45, I-35, I-10. You don't get anything done when you're
Right.
driving yourself. You're not working if you're a business professional. And if you're a leisure traveler, you're certainly not relaxing.
Right.
And so I thought, why couldn't we give Texans another alternative that would be luxurious and a first-class experience? And so the idea came to buy a 45-foot motor coach and customize the interior and turn it into what our early customers called a private jet on wheels. And so typically a coach like this will have 56 seats. We go down to just 22 big, oversized seats, tons of leg room, almost lay flat recline, a leg rest to put your legs up. We have a beautiful kitchen galley aboard, a nice large restroom. Every trip has an attendant that's serving you snacks and drinks, meal service, Starlink Wi-Fi. So it's a great alternative to doing what I call the airport rat race,
Right.
or dealing with the stress of driving yourself. It's a really wonderful alternative. If you're a business person, you are working the entire trip. You look up, you've arrived at your destination, your inbox is cleared out, you've maybe taken a phone call, responded to some text messages. And if you're a leisure traveler, you just got 3 hours of Netflix.
Exactly. I think that's exactly how we say all the time in the Woodlands and in destination marketing that everything starts with a visit. And, whether you're coming to the Woodlands for business, for a pavilion show, for a quick getaway, you start once and it brings you back over and over. And that's kind of how I feel about Von Lane. If you try it once, that will become your choice for these short haul trips going up and down I-45 or I-10. And I think even for me, how it began for me is I had gone through a few years of doing a lot of Texas travel, and I had two cracked windshields in 2.5 years and replaced two windshields in 2 years. And just with so much construction on the road, I didn't want to put the wear and tear on my own vehicle
Sure.
anymore. So I tried for the first time the San Antonio route. And that was absolutely, to me, the way that people should be traveling. If you're not driving your own car, that's the way you should be doing it. And it really did become, in my mind, kind of sparked the idea of this is an amenity that is so Woodlands. This is what our local, what our visitor expects. And so I think in 2019, I started hounding your office and started reaching out and just said, how do y'all expand your routes? How do you pick your destinations? And have you discovered the Woodlands?
Yeah. Yeah.
Had y'all thought about expanding into the Houston area already? Was that already in the plans?
Yeah, so we had we've had a Dallas to downtown Houston route for 10, 11 years, and it does great. And along the way, we just consistently got feedback from folks in this large metro area who live what I'll call North Houston and the Woodlands, saying we don't want to drive south to downtown
Right,
to then ride Vonlane north to Dallas. It doesn't make sense.
right.
Totally understand that. We need something in the Woodlands, and we just continued to hear that over and over. Any of our social media posts, paid advertising on social media, the comment section would be littered with people saying, "You need to come to the Woodlands. You need to come to the Woodlands."
Right.
And so, when the time was right for us, about a year ago, we decided to do that, and it's been a great start here.
Yeah.
So great that we're excited to expand our footprint here with a route from the Woodlands to Austin that starts May 4th.
Wow.
And so we're really excited about that.
It is music to our ears. We have so many locals, and then also our business client, that's where all associations in Texas are based. And so when we're thinking about our conventioneers that are looking about a solution to get them here easily, it is exactly what you're saying. They will not lose that productivity. They will not lose that time away from the office. And so for us, we really feel like it is bringing a solution, which for Visit the Woodlands, that's really what we're trying to create. We're trying to solve that problem when we're either doing a convention pitch or we're doing a business proposal, to just go ahead and start checking off all of those oppositions. Why would you not choose the Woodlands? We know it's beautiful. We
Right.
know it's accessible. We know it is one of those natural oases that people can really enjoy while they're doing business. But if the transportation part was a problem, now we've solved that too. And I think that experience of, like you were saying, you really do feel like you're in a first class airline seat, but you're moving along really quickly. And I think that that has really become what people have. I love the different groups that you see on the coach when you are riding.
Yeah.
You see families, you see girlfriend getaways, you see business people at the table with their papers all spread out. So you know that it has become a solution for all different types of people.
Yeah, I mean, we think in terms of communities of interest,
Mm,
and the Woodlands and Austin specifically have great community of interest for exactly what you're saying. If you walk around the Capitol complex in Austin, it's the Texas Association of Librarians, it's Texas Nursing Association. Every association under the sun is there.
right.
This is a great place for them to come and meet. Austin people love music. I mean,
Mm.
your pavilion here will be a draw to bring Austinites here to the pavilion. But on the flip side, I think there's so many great things going on in Austin for Woodlands residents to go do. Texas football, Texas basketball. There's the university is right there. The state government for business. There's a million reasons why. So we're excited about the route.
I think it is going to be so embraced and so utilized as a service. And I think for us, when we're trying to, again, help people along that decision funnel of, each of those different things, how will we get 1,000-person convention? How will we get all of these people here? Being able to offer that is going to be a great choice. As we kind of talk about the how it began, how did it also kind of begin for you? Is there a favorite road trip in your childhood or family life that you look back and say, that really inspired my love of travel?
Yeah, I've always been a traveler. It's always something that my family has put an emphasis on. My mom is from Colombia in South America, and so I grew up going there quite often and traveling there. I grew up in New York City, and so a lot of bus transportation in the
Mm,
Northeast. So it's very common for people to ride a public transportation
mhm,
option, especially bus
mhm.
and train. And so that came very natural to me. And I thought if we could package it in such a way that made it comfortable and stress free and a first class experience, that Texans would embrace it. And right out of the gate, when we started Vonlane with just a route between Dallas and Austin, it took off and we knew we were onto something. And the feedback is just that it's so stress-free and relaxing and comfortable that it's a better alternative than planes, trains, and automobiles.
Couldn't have a better illustration than a few weeks back with different troubles at the airport and TSA,
Yeah.
extra lines. And it's like we were looking at those lines thinking you could have been checked into the Von Lane to Dallas and already in your destination in the time that it may have taken to get through security at some of the airports.
Yeah.
And what a horrible experience that probably was for so many people to go through that moment. But I think also your check-in process is so seamless.
15 minutes.
It really, I mean, you're really giving people back their most precious commodity, which is their time,
Yeah.
and really telling them you can just show up right before, 30 minutes before, and especially for the Woodlands terminal. I know you've got different starting locations all across the state of Texas and now going across the US. But for us, what we have really seen a benefit of is our terminal is our Woodlands Waterway Marriott, which is our convention center,
Yeah.
which is right in the hub of our town center. So it's got such great access to the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion, to Market Street, to our convention hotels, which, many, many people come in just for those hotels. But it also is kind of giving them that experience of they're already into that mode before they get there. And then when they get on and off, it's such a great experience. The kind of waiting area, when you start seeing people that are waiting and they have access to a restaurant and they have
Mhm.
access to a coffee shop and they have places to sit and continue working, I think even just the hubs of the pickup and drop off locations are seeing so much activity as well.
Yeah, it's a strategic benefit of Von Lane that we partner with great hotels like the Marriott Waterway and that our passengers can utilize their facilities, restaurants, bars, coffee shops, restrooms. So it really makes the entire door-to-door experience a first-class experience because we partner with great hotels like the Marriott.
Yeah.
And so our customers have really embraced that, and it's worked well for us.
And I bet it's like even as we're even talking about it, it's not just a full service attendant that is bringing snacks and is bringing at the end of your ride, she is bringing out a hot towel and really making that great. But many of the routes have a full meal
Oh yeah.
that the hotel is providing and offering catering, so sandwiches and wraps and different salads,
Mhm.
things that they can enjoy, and even that is taken care of.
Yeah, I live in Dallas. I took our 6:15 departure this morning to get here. I arrived at the door of the motor coach at 6:10.
Yes.
So I didn't waste any time. I came aboard. I got to work for 3 hours on the trip and was really productive. And I was served breakfast. Uh, what else could you ask for? It was great.
It's perfect. And I mean, on the dot arrival as well. And I think that is something that, as business travelers, especially, they want to know that that timetable is set and you're going to hit those times. If they are booking a meeting at 10:30 or they have a lunch, to know that y'all really do stick strict to those timings. I know that, a lot of times when you're on a flight or you're rushing to get there and you're like, well, they're going to hold that door for me. I'm going to keep running through that terminal. I'm going to get there. I'm sure there have been many people that have been 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, and have unfortunately missed the bus. But it's also a positive for the people who are saying, I can always count on it. They're going to leave on time and I'm going to get where I need to be to either conduct business or whatever they're traveling for.
Yes, you're right. We're very passionate about staying on schedule. And I think it's just something that's important to a business like ours that we can do what we say we're going to do.
What I also appreciate is the knowledge and the experience of the drivers doing that route every single day and numerous times a day. I have been on a route before where there was a ton of traffic between, there was a wreck or some sort of a holdup in the traffic, and the driver knew I'm going to exit here. I'm going to ride the feeder road for just a minute and get back on. And even the people on the bus were cheering for him, saying, "You did it."
Yeah.
Like that was perfect because we thought, oh, this is going to be tough, sitting here in all this traffic. But they have such great experience of just knowing the roads of Texas when they need to divert to keep them on
You're,
schedule.
you're
And
absolutely
we
right.
weren't
Yeah.
stopped at all.
Yeah. I've had people tell me that they have followed a Von Lane bus
Yeah,
through a detour
that's
because they know
smart.
what we're doing and they say, oh, that driver, he knows what he's doing. I'm going to follow him around this traffic.
That is really
Yeah.
smart. Follow that bus.
Yeah. And so we have a team of individuals that are monitoring traffic throughout the state all day. And then they're communicating with the attendant aboard, who then communicates with the driver to give the driver a heads up that there's some sort of traffic issue up ahead, and here's the plan of how we're going to get around it. And we have these pre-vetted safe detours that we use that get around the traffic spots in Texas.
That is fantastic. I think, for all of us, having that type of responsible transportation solutions is just one of the most important things for travelers in
Well,
Texas.
I think it underscores that Vonlane is for everyone.
Hmm.
I think sometimes people think, oh, it's a business person solution,
Hmm.
and it's not.
Hmm.
We have a tremendous amount of leisure travelers. We have a tremendous amount of unaccompanied minors.
Wow.
So we are a great, safe solution for a minor that needs to travel. And there's a whole safety process around that we execute. We were really surprised in the early days, and it's continued to see that the elderly have
Mm.
become one of our best groups of travelers, because going through the airport, for my mom and my mother-in-law, for example, it's tough,
Right.
right? And so this is so easy because they can be dropped at the door of the coach, and they don't have to spend a lot of time in a busy airport. And driving is tough for them, and so we get a lot of feedback from folks that say, you have changed our family. We can see our grandparents so much more. They can come to us now.
Wow.
We don't always have to go to them. And so that's another benefit, for your residents here as well, who might have elderly family in Dallas or Austin. This is a great alternative for them.
That's perfect. We're always thinking exactly like that, of thinking of our visitor as almost like a tangible person. We know this person, we know their behaviors, we know how they like to spend money, we know how they like to celebrate. And you're exactly right, with Mother's Day, Father's Day coming up, and you're wanting to see that person, but maybe it is easier that they just get on down here and you can
Yeah.
take it from there. And that is such a great way to really be able to give them that great experience from the moment they step on, and then when they get into the Woodlands or to one of the other locations, to just feel like this has not been such a hassle. I think a lot of times when you pick someone up from the airport, they immediately tell you the stories of everything that went wrong in the plane.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
hot, we were
Yeah.
delayed, I
Yeah.
lost my
Yeah.
luggage. The
Yeah.
stories just go on, and this is just happy to see you.
Yeah.
Can you believe they gave me 13
Yeah.
drinks and this many snacks?
Yeah.
And I gotta,
Yeah.
so it really is you're changing people's impression, but you're also changing their day of just feeling like, wow, that was a really good way, thank you.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think
think
we've
that's
all
great.
gotten used to when we take a trip, either a leisure trip or a business trip, that the transportation part of it on both ends is going to be subpar.
Right. Mm.
And it doesn't have to be, but I think we just got used to that as a society, that, oh, this drive is going to stink, or this
Mhm.
flight is, it's going to be a hassle. It doesn't have to be that way. And I think we've proved that over 12 years now. So we're excited to have more residents of the Woodlands experience it.
Well, that is, absolutely what we're thinking too. We hope that people will continue to learn more about Von Lane on visitthewoodlands.com/Von Lane. We have the different timetables and the route map, and to be able to buy your tickets online. And again, it goes right to your phone. You're looking, and then as soon as you pull up, they check the manifest, and you're on the bus within, 2 minutes, and you're already relaxing. And so I think that as we start to really kind of spread the word about this to local communities, you're going to have a new group of ambassadors that are going to start riding the bus, talking about it, really kind of showing, again, like you said, that different experience that they had on a great trip. And so I think we're going to start to hear a lot more about that. Well, we really do appreciate your time and appreciate you watching here. The Pathways magazine is available in your community magazine that it comes to 56,000 households in the Woodlands. We really want our local community to be aware of the resources and the opportunities to not only work with Visit the Woodlands, but also to be able to be informed, to be a tour guide in your own hometown. And that's what we're hoping that people will learn more about. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the Woodlands.